um, started like going through the notes to try and figure out this thyroid thing, yeah?
Yeah.
I saw my sister and stayed at their house on Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And she was saying that she's had her thyroid taken out and has to take whatever medication it is, yeah?
This is your sister?
Yeah,
Okay.
my sister. So she's had her thyroid removed. Anyway, so I found some stuff that's slightly able to be readable, and hopefully it's okay. It's something to do with like T3, T4, T6. They're all elevated.
Okay.
There's one here that sort of has stuff on it. Then, my old psychiatrist's handwriting is very difficult to read.
It's very difficult, right? Yeah.
And there's more notes that go with that. So that's the start and that's the end. It has the word thyroid in it, so I figured I'd get it.
So your sister had anorexia?
No, that's my stuff. That's why they put me in the hospital.
Oh,
They think that's from when I was in the Albert Road. So remember I brought that big thing from Albert Road and you were like, the writing's so difficult, I took it home. But yeah, so I was put into hospital, I think it might be on there, sometime around like the 9th of February 2013 or something, I think it was. Because I was doing the outpatient day DBT program twice a week. So Wednesdays and Fridays I was at the Albert Road Clinic from like 9 o'clock until like 4:30. And I'd been doing it for, I don't know, maybe a year when my psychiatrist and a couple of the psychologists came down to where they do the day program. And it was a Friday afternoon and they were like, you need to be admitted into hospital because of my weight.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I said no immediately. And they told me that I either voluntarily admit myself or they were going to do it for me. Okay. So I didn't really have a lot of choices in that one.
Okay.
Obviously, I didn't bring all of it because there's so much, but I read through a massive chunk of it this morning while I was having coffee and breakfast.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to read as the patient because like many times throughout the notes it says things like patient says she's not, purging, patient says she's not using this, and it's like very clearly they don't believe that that's the case because like I think I'd been there for approximately a month at one point and I still hadn't gained any weight.
Okay.
That's when they took, because when I originally was put in, I was put in where, when you're an inpatient but you're still allowed to like go out and come back and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was how it was when I first went in for like maybe the first 3 or 4 weeks. When I wasn't putting weight on, they then took all my privileges away from me. I wasn't allowed to step foot off the property.
Okay.
And not only was I not allowed to go off the property, but I was no longer allowed to be of my own devices with the meals. So I was like escorted to every meal by a nurse and then monitored via the cameras for like a period of half an hour afterwards because they didn't believe me. They truly thought that I was purging or something.
Yeah.
And that's when they brought in the thyroid specialist.
Yeah.
And there was a whole bunch of stuff in there, but look, I really find some of the handwriting is so difficult to read, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could appreciate that. And yeah, there was like stick figures drawn and a whole bunch of stuff, and like there's so much paperwork. And because I've been in care twice, it wasn't like the first one and then the second one. It's all kind of mixed together, which is, all I know is if I weighed this much when I was sent them, I would be in there. I'm going to weigh myself. Motherfucker. It's not good, Elaine.
What is it?
48.9, fully clothed with shoes on.
So it's more 47.9.
which is about what it was when they put me in hospital.
So what are we going to do with you?
Well, that's a wonderful question. My sister thinks that all of my mental illnesses and all of my problems are to do with my thyroid, and that if I have my thyroid removed, everything will be fixed. I was like, that's lovely wishful thinking. But
You dropped 2 kilos.
I've dropped. Yeah, it's not cool. I can't. I don't know. I'm feeling better mentally than I was, because obviously when I was meant to see you last week, I didn't even get out of the house. It took me 2 weeks to be able to get out of my house.
Okay.
So I'm starting to wonder if my hormones have something to do with it. And that's another thing in my family, because like I don't really bleed, so to speak, when I get my period, but I get every single other symptom there is, and that's painful enough. But it was like 4 days leading up to it, I was just crying and overwhelmed and anxious and this horrible mess. But yeah, good question. What are we going to do with me? I don't know. That's why I'm paying for health insurance. I tried to do that thing for the disability card.
What do you think is the cause of all this?
Look, I don't know. I am struggling with eating. I'll admit that one. Like, it's not that I don't want to eat. Like, I made myself eat this morning, for example. Like, I've spoken to Tina, the cardiologist, and in the last 2 days, so to speak. And like, I gotta admit, it's becoming confusing. Like, for example, I feel exhausted, like I could drop right now. Yeah. Whereas I went to bed at a decent time, like 9:40 last night. I had my alarm set for say 8, and at 8:30 got up at like 10:15, and I'm obviously taking the Ritalin. So I took 2 when I got up, which was obviously late by a couple of hours. Then I took 2 on the way here because, again, like I said, I feel like I'm going to drop. But Tina thinks there's a chance that the propranolol, the heart medication that I can't pronounce, could be causing how lethargic and tired I am. So she's taking me off that medication and putting me on a new one.
All right, you give me a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we seeing a cardiologist?
Because of these things was
Because
real.
of that?
Yeah, it was like super high.
When did I send you?
That's a great question. No idea. I don't know what medication she's meant to be on, because they called for the payment and discussed stuff, but I was asleep and I got to call them back. Speaking of scripts, while I remember, is it difficult for you to cancel the e-scripts to give you paper scripts by any chance? My phone is very broken.
What scripts needs to be a paper script?
All of them. They're all on my phone at the moment, and I took them to the pharmacy and they tried to do the scanny thing, and I'll show you. I'm going to pause it. Like, there's one pharmacy that I know of that can access the scripts via my phone without having to scan them. Kind of hoping these ones can do it, but like I very much need Lexapro, and again, I'm pretty sure I have a script, but it's on my phone. They're all on my phone, and my phone is broken.
Okay, so you don't have Lexapro
Like I said,
at all?
I don't know. I don't think so. Like, because I know that I've got you sent me the end. Like, I needed end 50-25s, for example. So I've got the Epilim, I've got that, I need a script for Solafin, if that's cool, because I need to call the urologist as well, obviously, since having the surgery on my bladder. But yeah, so the the propranolol can go. They're taking me completely off that one. Like I said, she thinks that could have something to do with how exhausted I am, because I stayed in bed like yesterday until 2 o'clock, and then stayed on my couch and for the rest of the day, and I didn't do anything.
All right. So, a couple of things. Okay. The Lexapro script, it's an authority script because you're taking 2 a day.
Okay.
So I actually have to get authority to give you
Yeah, no, I know that.
double. So before I do that, is there any other script that you need? So that may need authority as well? What other scripts do you need?
Well, I'd like Valium if you're willing to give it to me. That one I don't need. It comes from that one. Tajin, you gave me whenever you did.
Valium is fine. I don't need authority on that.
When was the last time I got baclofen? So I'm doing my own like boxes now, like in advance to make sure I don't screw stuff up.
Yeah.
Baclofen,
you shouldn't run out till June.
Cool, that's cool. Like I said, there's stuff on my phone. The end it. Oh, actually, I might need 50 because when I went in, they gave me them, and I think it was the last repeat, unless. Because I know you sent me one for 25 or something, and then I freaked out thinking I've screwed everything up. I would like the Solafin, whatever it is. It's in red. That one. Yep. And does that say? What is that one? Specialist range vitamin something? Is that the vitamin
that's
D?
the D. Yeah.
Can that be prescribed? Is that can I get that then? Because every time I try to take a script in, they just try to sell me ordinary vitamins for the normal amount.
Oh.
Same with the zinc and the rest of them. So I've just been using whatever the vitamins are, but if there are proper script ones,
yeah,
they would be good. I'll pause this before you call for authority, obviously. But Nexium, yeah. Again with the Nexium, it's like I'm still getting the what is it? The reflux. Yeah. Obviously, I get the Ritalin from the other guy, my psychiatrist. I've told him, by the way, that I filmed these and I filmed the other ones. It was a very interesting conversation. It was like I was so nervous to tell him, but it was in the way I explained it, which is that I'm such a believer in breaking stigmas of everything, and when it comes to this sort of stuff, the reason I obviously share is to help people know. And I kind of think he was almost impressed, if that makes sense. Like, because I said to him, I can't stand how everybody thinks that they have these thoughts about therapy, for example, psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors and stuff, and it's so misconstrued that it's only perpetuating the stigma, you know? Yeah. Whereas that's when I said to him, this is what I do, and I told him, and it was awesome. I'm going to ask him from now on if I can film his, because I was like, I need to be able to show all the differences.
Yeah.
And yeah, I will say, like, it's confusing for me at the moment, and I think it's maybe confusing for Nicole and my family, maybe you, don't know, thank you. Because when I'm out, like once I've managed to get up, and like today it took me hours to get up, right? Yeah. But once I was up, it was good, yeah. So I've driven here, done what my house, is done what needs to be done. I've hired like proper cleaners to come in and give it like a deep clean for tomorrow. I've seen my family. Like, I'm good. I feel good. Life is good. I've got lots of things going for me. And then as soon as it's almost like once I'm home, the world shuts down. And I think that's sort of, and it's again, I think I'm also being hard on myself. I have to remember that, because with how much I live with, like, for example, it's 80 kilometers I worked out from my house to my sister's in each direction, right?
Oh, okay.
So I drove up there, obviously, and I had the special mattress that I may have told you made for the back of my car, which, FYI, if you ever need a mattress, please tell me. These are the most amazing people I've ever met.
Okay.
They literally made an exact mattress to fit exactly the car. It's the strangest shape, but it's amazing. Yeah. And I guess no one is seeing what's happening when I'm alone, which is making it possibly harder for other people to understand. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got to do with being alone. I'm absolutely sure of it, because I used to be amazing with time management, structure, routine. Like, I truly think my whole life would change if I could just get to the point where I'm up at the same time every day. But again, like I said, it happened this morning. You know, like I'm setting all of my alarms to talk to me. So this morning my alarm was going, get up, Olivia, you have a doctor's appointment. Get up. Like it's telling me. And in my head, I'm just working out how long it takes to get here. So it's an hour drive. And then I work backwards. And yeah. Like I literally made it on time today, for example. And I just feel like I feel ridiculously stupid, if I'm actually honest with you, because I feel like it is the simplest thing in the absolute world to do. And it's making me really, I guess, angry at myself now that I think about it, that I'm struggling this much. Because
struggling to get up, to get out of bed.
Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's not because I've got... And uni's finished, like I've got my transcript, like I got what I want to, you know, I'm graduating with a distinction, like a great grade. I've got a, you know, like person who's basically giving me their house. Like if you imagine like the most beautiful farm B&B place you can think of, pools and outdoors, this whole thing, right? Well, a friend of mine owns this property up the top of Queensland, like 5 hours north of Brisbane, and she works in Mackay Monday to Friday, so she's only at this farm property from Friday evening till Sunday midday. And yet she has told me I have free reign. I can pretty much just move in and use her home as my own. Do you know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to that. But then again, I've got all these things like, to me, daylight savings is about to end. This is my favorite time of the year. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go on a road trip when it's going to be really dark. And again, like, the reason I'm on disability is because of how much crap I'm living with and the pain I'm living with. Just going to my sister's and coming back exhausted me to the point where, like I said, I didn't even get dressed yesterday. I literally stayed in my pajamas all day. You know, and I think it's maybe affecting me because I, again, had a great day. I got into bed. I was feeling really good. I even remember saying to myself, it's okay. I'm allowed to have days like this to, rest, recuperate, whatever it is. Everything's okay. And then I don't know what my mind did to me. It just turned on me almost, and the next thing I'm crying myself to sleep thinking about suicide. And so I wake up this morning and I'm so confused because I'm like, why did that happen?
I think we don't actually have a clear-cut diagnosis for you at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to wonder myself. My sister swears by this, but I look, there are too many people in this world, and all of you out there who do it, please don't take this to heart, but there are too many people who think they know more than the doctors. And I can't, like, when people get in on me, I've got friends and family saying, oh, blah, 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 and I'm like, don't try to pretend that you have any idea what my specialist, my doctor who's been doing this for 30-something years, you know what I mean? There's a reason I come to you.
Do you know when you're going to see the psychiatrist,
Yeah, because I literally just seen him on the 9th of Feb, so my next appointment...
Oh, you saw him on the 9th of Feb?
Yeah, so I've seen him. And that was the referral letter that I needed from you, which, thank you, you went and gave it to them. I actually got it. So
I haven't got a letter back from him, though.
Oh. Well, I had to follow up with them on phone calls to make sure they even got the referral, so I can call them if you want, make that, to deal with that.
Yeah.
I know my next appointment is the 19th of June because it's the day after my graduation, so I remember that much. He thinks I have a panic disorder.
Okay.
And yeah, because again, and I still don't think it's making any sense. It's like just the thought of going to the supermarket, for example, causes me so much overwhelm. I don't handle it. And like so when I cancelled the appointments with you, I'd cancelled all of my appointments. I cancelled everything. I didn't leave my house for over 2 weeks. That was the state I was in. I've been treating myself to these nails, and it got to the point where they were so long, they were hurting me because they were, and I had to go out by this point. I'd been using a box of tissues for like 4 days as toilet paper. I couldn't do anything, and I made myself go out, But I got my nails done and then went to put like the scripts in, and the next thing, the supermarket and everything's closing down, and I'm like, oh my god, I've been in here for 2 hours. 2 hours, and I walked out. I got home, and half the stuff on my shopping list I hadn't bought. The thing I wanted the most in the world was like fruit and bananas because it's easy, and I had stood next to the bananas for, I swear, 10 minutes looking for the absolute best bananas, only to get home to get a banana to realize I didn't even buy them. And I walked out spending $185, and I swear I don't even know what I'm eating. And it's like, I have really great days where I can get all the stuff I need done and cook and whatever. And then, like I said, I've been telling Ishan about these panic things.
Yeah.
And he's like, he said something like, he's starting to think it's no longer a symptom of something, but genuine panic disorder. And I'm like, I don't know anything anymore, except.
Okay, well, I'm awaiting his letter so he can explain exactly. Because I'm sure it's going to be more than just panic disorder. There's some.
Look, I still think I have borderline and bipolar, obviously, and dissociation. Like those I can feel. And again, it's like I'm so medicated, and yet, like, I'm either super high, so to speak, and when I say that, it's like energy, getting stuff done, and then like the following day, it's not like I said.
I still think you have bipolar.
Oh, I absolutely think I have bipolar and borderline. Those two are,
All right, but for the immediate physical thing is, what are we going to do about your weight?
I don't know. This has now been happening for a while, hasn't it?
So you're saying that this morning you had to make yourself eat breakfast?
Yeah. So I don't know what the differences are, because there are days where I wake up and I'm starving and I just eat all day, and it's irrelevant of whether it's Ritalin or not Ritalin. And then there are days, again, like today, where I get up and I have my coffee, and like I said, I had dishes to do and jumped in the shower, but I knew I had to eat because I can feel what it does. So I made myself have like a big bowl of yogurt. But yeah, no, I had to make myself do that. And I'm not sure what is happening anymore, because I swear on my life, I know I'm too skinny. I don't like how I look. I look in the mirror and I'm seeing what I look like when I was on the drugs. I truly don't want that. But again, like I said, I'm at a loss now. And the only thing I can think of is, like I said, like I can't function without the Ritalin. And yet, hopefully, if this other stuff changes, but I don't know anymore. And that's the only thing I can say. I don't know anymore. The only, like I said, I'm paying $180 a fortnight on health insurance now, because I'm at the point where if it gets to it, I want to go into a hospital to have help, because I am at my wit's end. And I obviously don't want to go into hospital and take over like someone else who needs it, but like I said, I read through so much of that stuff this morning, and it's very on par with what's happening now again. But it could be thyroids. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in my family with the thyroids. My sister's had hers removed. I think my mum has. They're on medication.
Well,
I don't know what to do.
A blood test in November last year.
Yeah, you told me that everything was normal on the normal test, which is why you then wanted me to get this stuff to see if anything had been done, because I remember you saying there's like 5 different specialist thyroid tests or something.
There are.
And yeah, like I would 1000% admit if I was doing this to myself, because I don't have flipping anorexia. What does mild dystopia mean or something? There's another thing on there that it says I've got, which I found interesting. like I said, that's not much of what there is. Oh, God.
It's very hard to read.
Very difficult to read. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that.
It just says repeat thyroid function test.
I read something like at risk of, but I can't.
They said query bulimia.
It's like I said, they didn't believe anything I was saying. They'll put me on those big, massive scales 3 times a day. And I was eating a lot.
I have no idea what's going on here.
Well, me neither. That makes 2 of us. Like, what do these tests involve?
And the only thing the test would be do the 5 thyroid tests and do a thyroid ultrasound. I'm not sure if you've had one.
I don't think I've had a thyroid ultrasound.
I know you did actually.
Did I? I don't know much about any of it.
So in February.
Okay. Oh, what did it say?
You've got little nodules, but nothing major. I'm just printing that out.
It's interesting because it's like with the surgeries that I had. It's like nodules, but nothing major. But I had polyps in my bowel, but nothing major. Ulcers in my stomach, nothing major. And yet all these nothing major things are coming together and driving me insane.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely just don't feel right. I feel backed up, or I feel lethargic, or I feel so awake that I can't sleep until 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's just...
I mean, do you think the Ritalin can partially be causing that?
Maybe. Like, I definitely take breaks. Like yesterday, I didn't have any, you know, like there's been... I don't take it every day to give myself breaks.
Yeah.
I do reduce it on days where, like, I don't need it. Like today I needed to take the 2 and the 2, right? Whereas tomorrow I'll take the 2 in the morning, and then I'll take 1 midday, and then see how I go, because I try to avoid taking the late, like the 4 o'clock one, if I can, because it's like I'm absolutely exhausted all day, and I take the meds and they sort of keep me up, but then it's like they all combine all at once, and then I'm awake until the early hours of the morning. And again, if I don't get up at a certain time, and I cannot buy any more alarms. There are alarms all over my house. And my sister's like, what happens? I was like, I don't know how to explain to anyone else what I can't explain to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't fun for me.
Alright, we're going to do your 5 thyroid tests.
Okay.
To figure out what's going on.
So this, like, are these blood tests?
Yeah.
So I can do that, yeah.
The other thing is, how much food are you actually eating? So you said you had yogurt this morning.
Yeah.
So on an average day, how much food are you actually eating?
Again, like I said, it seems to change. So I tend to eat a decent amount at night, but that's usually because I've had weed by that point, right? So that's sort of like, if I'm at home all day and I'm vaping my stuff, it's easier because it keeps me hungry. But on a say today, like I said, I had a big bowl of yogurt before coming. Like, I know I can feel that I need to eat, which is a good thing. So I will obviously be eating as soon as I get home, but it's like I know I need to eat, I can feel I need to eat, but it's also in my head, I can also feel that I don't at the same time. And again, I don't know how to make that make any more sense, because yeah, like I keep food in my handbag and in my car, like okay, so like for the last week, for example, I've had like what I would say a normal amount of food. You know, like I've been eating. There was one day in the last couple of days I made 3 separate meals. Like I think within about 2 hours I was so hungry. You know, like I'm eating as much as I can. As soon as I feel hungry, I start to eat, and I just eat while I can. But like I know I put weight on since seeing you last, and I was pretty freaking worried, if I'm honest, that the problem would be I'd arrive here and it looks like I've dropped again. And again, I'm starting to think that this, what is it called, PMDD thing might be again, like my hormones might be affecting me, but I've been told that's not something you can actually test, but I don't know anymore. I don't know.
I'm just wondering where I should refer you to a gastroenterologist.
Yeah, please refer me to anyone that can help me. If that helps. I might go through the McDonald's drive-thru and get me some like hot chips and stuff, like I said, because I'm here, and then I'll go home and eat. Like I don't know. I don't want to be this skinny. I know that much. It adds to my pain. It adds to like how weak I am. Like I'm seeing my chiropractor every week, right? And you know, same thing. It's like I keep saying to him, what do I do to make it better? And he's like, the first thing you need to do is get stronger. And like I'm not strong, you know. And I know there are simple things that need to be put into place that will make things better. It's just that I've now been trying to put these things into place for years, and it's really hard not to feel like the dumbest freaking failure ever.
All right.
You know?
Let us go back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to include some old results.
Include anything you think will help. Like I said, I have so much paperwork at home, and I've still got to do that thing for the timeline, which I'm working my way through. I think like I said that I couldn't leave my house for 2 weeks, right? And someone had come over, like a friend of mine had come over, and again, like I said before, certain things really tick me off, and people thinking they know more than doctors is one of them, right? And I had a friend there, and look, we've talked about it since, so apparently I didn't let her finish it, but she made a comment along the lines of a friend of hers went to a doctor, was a bit sad, and they just started palming out medication. Then she started like sort of giving me what I felt like was crap, because not only do I see a psychologist, I see a psychiatrist, so I have both kinds of therapy. And like she's 65 and obviously got different views to me, but I just felt so pushed that I openly I admitted to Nicole, I flipped out. I literally got up from the kitchen table from where I was, picked up the pillboxes that I had, and slammed them on the kitchen table. Like I was so angry, and I'd already asked her to leave for pissing me off the previous time she'd been at my house. So when she arrived, the first thing she said was, if you ask me to leave again, I'm never coming back. Right. So she pushes me to the point where I flip out, right? And yet even in that state, I was able to hold myself and say to her, I'm not kicking you out, but I'm walking to the other part of my house so that I can calm down, because I needed to, because I can only handle so much, and like my mother thinks I'm a liar, my sister clearly is, you know, not fully thinking all this is real based on some of the stuff she said, and I am at my wit's end. I don't give a crap what labels I have. I care about whether I'm well or not, and that's what it comes down to. Like me and my friend, she said to me, you know, I obviously took it the wrong way, and I took it too personally, and again, I think that is happening a little bit. I've noticed that I'm like taking things badly, so to speak. because I've suffered for years with this feeling of guilt for being in this situation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I look and sound perfectly fine, and I know that, right? And yet I've been on disability for a long time, yeah? And I truly believe I need NDIS, which is, again, what I'll be applying for as soon as I get citizenship sorted. Because honestly, if I had a support worker or someone that just helped me with routine, things would be better. But like I keep saying, I'm not really seeing people when I'm with people. You don't see what's happening to me when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I have a question, because I'm obviously seeing what you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to things like anorexia, how do you guys make that decision? Because you and Nicole, I can see you've said that I'm denying I have anorexia and bulimia. Nicole doesn't think I have. But again, like I said, I've only brought 3 pages out of like this insane, massive thing, and they 100% think I have it.
Okay, so...
And it's not like I'm doing myself any favours, unfortunately, at the moment, given my way.
So, sorry, what did you... What was your main question?
Well, with anorexia,
Yes.
let's face it, I can see that I'm probably looking like I do have it. And I'm curious to know how you as professionals, all of you, make that decision or diagnosis. When I'm saying, I know I'm not doing this on purpose, I know that, but I said that at Albert Road for 2 months and they didn't believe me. As far as Albert Road are concerned, I absolutely have anorexia. And I'm open, I admit to all the rest of them. I know that I've got problems. I know that I'm going to be working on shit for the rest of my life. But anorexia, to me, is someone who has body dysmorphia, thinks they're bigger than they are, and restricts food to lose weight. Isn't that about right?
Yeah.
That is not what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the mirror hating what I'm seeing because I'm too skinny. All I see is what I could see in the mirror when I was on the drugs. That wasn't fun. Do you know what I mean? And I guess I would like to know from your point of view as my doctor, what do you think? Like, when does me saying what I say get overridden by the professionals?
Well, look, at the moment, I'm sort of standing on this line of whether you do or you don't. If we're just talking about your weight and all that, then I would say you probably do have it.
Mm-hmm.
But hearing that, number one, you actually want to be heavier,
100%,
and that you're trying to eat more, that's usually not anorexia.
That's what I thought.
Because people with anorexia think they're too fat and they restrict the amount of food they eat because they think they're too fat. So they need to lose weight so that they look normal to themselves. Obviously, when they look normal, they're like very, very underweight. So at this point, the reason why I'm referring to a gastroenterologist is, number one, you already have a psychiatrist. It would be interesting, that's why I was looking for the letter, to see if he thought you had anorexia or not.
We haven't discussed that. That's interesting. No, we haven't.
So you haven't discussed that, so that's one.
I can make another appointment because he asked me when I wanted to see him and he just gave me the date and that was fine. But if I need to see him again to ask all this, I can do that.
Yeah. And then I'm writing the referral to see, is there an actual gut issue, like you're not absorbing nutrients, like what is it that's causing you to not put on weight even when you say you eat.
I'm even using that hospital sustagen, that they make you eat. I've got all of that at home, everything.
And you're having 3 meals a day usually?
Yeah, even if it's not 3, I'm eating the equivalent of it usually, yeah.
And a good amount, or
yeah, like definitely. Like yesterday, I didn't eat much, but I wasn't awake for very long. But like definitely, I feel like I'm eating properly. I'm eating salads and like I don't eat meat, for example, but I buy all the like meat-free stuff and vegetable. I'm eating lots of vegetables.
do you eat like rice or pasta or noodles?
Yeah. Well, I haven't enough
Bread, that sort of stuff.
bread with cheese toasties, bread, lots of them. Like I love tomato on toast, things like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing what I can. I'm probably gonna actually make pasta today when I get home. Like
Okay.
I need to see at least 50 on the scales. That to me would be at the absolute minimum. And even the hospital was like, well, for my BMI, it needs to be 56. And I was like, well, I don't know that I will ever see that happen. And that's when I got them to agree to because I was like 47 when I was put in, but literally the size that I am, yeah? And they told me I had to get to 56. And I was like, well, I'm moving in permanently if that's the case. And then I finally got them to agree to 52, even though for the first couple of weeks they kept trying to tell me it wasn't a negotiation. And I was like, I'm not trying to negotiate because I'm anorexia. I'm just giving you the facts. And I got to 51.8 and I literally begged them to let me out. Because I remember the very last appointment I had with the psychiatrist the night before they let me discharge, and it was like 200 grams short, and he's like, you need to, and I was like, it's a piece of cake, and I was like, I've been here for 7-8 weeks, you know. But
I think it would be a good idea if you can write down a diet diary.
Yeah, I've done that before.
And
I can
how
do
much?
That. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't understand the whole calorie thing, but I can write down what I'm eating.
Yeah. So yeah, write down. So yeah, 2 slices of bread. Write down 2 slices of bread.
Yep. Cool. Can do.
All right. So I'll just let's see. I'll just interest has not spoken.
Oh, this is the thyroid.
Okay.
God, how long is the longest appointment I could be here with you?
Yeah.
I know.
I think you've been here for about 45 minutes.
I have. I've been filming for 43. I've got to do my car back road stuff, that's all. So I'm wondering if I need to make another appointment just to come in and do that with you, I'm guessing.
I think we probably do.
Yeah. I'll just do that soon.
Alright. So this is the leather that's coming out.
And I'll stop this when you call for the Lexapro script, if that's cool. I still need to.
I have to call it for the...
Yeah. I know.
So I've included the blood test results.
Okay.
Which is why there are so many pages.
No worries. Do I make the appointment or do I give this to the reception and they'll like...
Do you know when you'll be free?
Always. Not tomorrow, but pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. And Nicole's going on leave, so I'm seeing her on the 11th.
Okay.
And other than that, yeah, like I said, like I've been wanting to like plan this trip, but I slept in the car at my sister's, which was awesome. Like this new mattress is cool as hell. But again, daylight savings is ending. My favourite time of the year is now, and I just feel like it might not be the right time with everything, with uni smack bang in the middle, but I'm basically pretty free. I'll put it that way.
All right. Make an appointment to see this fellow. He's a gastroenterologist.
Cool.
Because you're already seeing a psychiatrist, so let's just say if it was anorexia,
Mhm.
he's got you covered on that end.
Yep.
But if it's not anorexia and there's a reason, I don't know what, but there's a reason that despite you eating,
Mhm.
you're not putting on any weight,
Mhm.
is there something wrong with your gut?
Yeah.
Are you not digesting properly? Are you, do you know what I
It
mean?
feels like I'm not. My insides feel
Yeah,
just
so-
feel, ugh.
Yeah, so let's
Okay.
do that.
That could
Okay,
be.
so for our next appointment, the best thing